Have you checked your mailbox today? Because what I'm about to tell you could be the financial relief you've been waiting for. The rumors are true. A fourth stimulus check has just been approved, and this time it's $2,000 going directly to millions of Americans with low income. This isn't speculation anymore. It's happening right now. If you've been struggling to make ends meet, wondering how you'll pay next month's bills, this video contains information you absolutely need to know. I know what you're thinking. Is this really happening? Am I eligible? When will I get my money? Don't worry, I'm going to answer all of these questions and more in the next few minutes. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the end, because I'll be sharing some crucial deadlines and specific actions you need to take to ensure you receive your payment as quickly as possible. Before we dive into all the details about this new stimulus payment, let me give you a quick recap of how we got here. Since the pandemic began in 2020, the government has issued 3 rounds of stimulus checks to help Americans weather the economic storm. The first check provided up to $1,200 per eligible adult in April 2020, followed by $600 in December 2020, and then $1,400 in March 2021 as part of the American Rescue Plan. Many Americans have been calling for additional support as inflation continues to rise and economic challenges persist, especially for those with lower incomes. Now, after months of debate and negotiation, Congress has finally reached an agreement on a 4th stimulus package, specifically targeting low-income individuals and families. This new $2,000 payment comes at a critical time when many Americans are still struggling with rising costs of living, from groceries to gas to housing. But what exactly does low income mean in this context? Who qualifies? And most importantly, when can you expect to see that money in your account? The new stimulus package defines low income as individuals earning less than $40,000 annually or families earning less than $80,000. This is a broader income threshold than previous stimulus packages, meaning more Americans will qualify for this round of payments. Additionally, there are supplemental amounts for dependents, with an extra $500 for each qualifying child or dependent adult in your household. This means a family of 4 with 2 children could receive up to $3,000 if they meet the income requirements. But here's where things get interesting, and why you need to be checking both your physical mailbox and your email inbox. Unlike previous stimulus distributions, the IRS is using multiple notification methods to ensure eligible recipients don't miss out. Some people will receive a letter in the mail with instructions, while others will get an email or notification through the IRS online portal. Have you received any communication from the IRS recently? It might be worth double-checking those emails you dismissed as spam. Now, you might be wondering why this stimulus package is happening now, especially since many economists have been concerned about inflation. The answer lies in recent economic data showing that while the overall economy has been recovering, the benefits haven't been equally distributed. Lower-income households continue to face significant financial pressures, with many still experiencing unemployment or reduced hours. Rising costs for essentials like food, housing, and healthcare have hit these households particularly hard. This targeted stimulus aims to provide relief specifically to those who need it most, without adding as much inflationary pressure as a universal payment would. The direct deposit payments have already begun rolling out to those who have their banking information on file with the IRS. If you received previous stimulus payments via direct deposit, you're likely to receive this one the same way. The first wave of deposits started last week, with more scheduled throughout this month. Paper checks will follow for those without direct deposit information, with the first batch being mailed out starting next week. So if you're eligible but haven't received your payment yet, don't panic. The rollout is happening in phases. But what if you don't normally file taxes because your income is below the filing threshold? This is a crucial point that many people miss. Even if you aren't required to file taxes, you need to submit some information to the IRS to receive your stimulus payment. The IRS has reopened their non-filers tool specifically for this purpose. Have you used this tool before? If not, and you think you might be eligible, you'll want to visit the official IRS website as soon as possible to submit your information. One question I've been getting a lot is, What if I'm on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or other federal benefits? Do I still qualify? The answer is yes. If you're receiving any of these benefits and meet the income requirements, you're eligible for this stimulus payment. Even better news. Most recipients of federal benefits will receive their stimulus payments automatically, the same way they receive their regular benefits. However, if you have dependents who qualify for the additional $500, you may need to provide that information separately if you haven't already done so for previous stimulus payments. Now, let's talk about some of the confusion surrounding this stimulus package. There have been reports of scams targeting people eager to receive their payments. Remember, the IRS will never call, text, or email asking for personal or banking information. They already have this information from your tax returns or previous stimulus registrations. If someone contacts you claiming to be from the IRS and asks for information like your Social Security number or bank account details, it's a scam. Have you received any suspicious communications lately? Be extremely cautious and report any suspected scams to the FTC. Another common question is whether this payment will affect other benefits you might be receiving, such as SNAP, formerly food stamps, Medicaid, or housing assistance. The good news is that this stimulus payment is not counted as income for the purpose of determining eligibility for federal benefits. It also won't be counted as a resource or asset for 12 months. This means you can receive your stimulus payment without worrying about losing other crucial support programs that you might depend on. For those who are eligible but haven't received their payment yet, the IRS has set up a dedicated portal where you can check the status of your payment. This is similar to the Get My Payment tool used for previous stimulus rounds. The updated tool allows you to see if your payment has been processed, when it's scheduled to be sent, and whether it will arrive as a direct deposit or paper check. Have you checked your status yet? It's a good idea to do so, especially if it's been more than 2 weeks since the rollout began. What happens if you believe you're eligible but don't receive your payment automatically? Don't worry. There's a process for that too. If you don't receive your payment by the end of the distribution period, approximately 6 weeks from now, you can file for a recovery rebate credit on your next tax return. This will ensure you get the money you're entitled to, even if there was an issue with the automatic distribution. Make sure you keep records of your income and household situation to support your claim if needed. Some people have asked whether this stimulus payment is taxable. Just like the previous stimulus payments, this $2,000 payment is not considered taxable income. You won't need to report it on your tax return next year, and it won't increase the amount of tax you owe or reduce your refund. This is designed to ensure that the full amount goes directly to helping you with your immediate financial needs. For parents, there's an important distinction to understand between this stimulus payment and the expanded child tax credit that was in effect last year. This $2,000 stimulus payment is separate from the child tax credit, though both are designed to help families with children. If you're a parent who qualifies for this stimulus payment, you'll receive both the base amount of $2,000 plus $500 for each dependent child. This is in addition to any child tax credit you may claim on your tax return. I want to address another common concern. What if you've moved or changed banks since filing your last tax return? If your address has changed, you should update it with the IRS as soon as possible using Form 8822. If your banking information has changed, unfortunately, the IRS doesn't have a system to update direct deposit information specifically for stimulus payments. In this case, if the direct deposit is rejected by your bank, the IRS will automatically send a paper check to your last known address. Have you moved recently? If so, making sure your address is current with the IRS should be a top priority.